Space. Bug. Magic for the masses. Space. Bug.
What up, humanity? Facebook coming at you with an explanation of something, I guess. My sister and I were abducted by aliens when we were little. Lots of times. When I was 15, I learned a mind magic spell that stopped them from taking us. In coordination with a rose petal spell I developed from a spell that Raceland used to do in the books Dragonlance. So, I found out my sister was doing heroin about 10 years ago, and maybe it was 9 years ago, but it's coming up pretty close. But at that time, I destroyed the spell. I sprinkled the flower petals out, because if she wanted to take the risk of dying, what was the point of protecting her? And she died 2 months later of a heroin overdose. We didn't talk about it. We didn't have to. Whenever something was whenever we thought they were coming, it was an unspoken truth. We would sleep in the same room, head to toe in the same bed. When I was in kindergarten, we were in the same kindergarten. Like, we went to kindergarten at the same time, and she's a little older than me. And we were across the hall. Like, there was one big room, like a big gym or whatever, and they had like a half a wall in between. You could see the other classrooms in the middle. And I remember them having her have headphones on, audiobooks or something, and I was screaming and freaking out about they're trying to mind control her or brainwash her. And being a kindergartner, talking about brainwashing with headphones seems weird. We went to therapy after my parents had a divorce, and I guess we told the therapist that I was abducted out of my mom's womb at 3 months pregnant, see, because we were twins, and they put me back in my mom's stomach, or whatever, before she got sterilized. My mom actually found out she was pregnant with me when she went to get sterilized. And she was 3 months along. She had her period and everything for 3 months. It was just, I was there. Too late to get rid of me. I don't know how the therapist reacted. I never asked about that. We didn't tell people as kids. Up until recently, I've only told like 5-10 people total ever in my life. And both my ex-husband, who I was with for 14 years, and the girl who thought she was my twin flame, who I love dearly, even though I don't believe that. Neither one of them could believe me. They both said, you know, Sarah, I believe you believe it, but I can't really grasp or tangibly accept that that's possible. Okay. First night we stayed in the house, my ex-husband and I, that burned down. I had an ungodly return of memories or experience or something, energy. I dreamt that I was in this big white tent room, and all I really remember is seeing past my feet, if I was like laying horizontally, I could see half a door, like a French door or something, I don't know what it's called, but the swinging doors like in a saloon, an old bar saloon, like from the 1800s. There's a half a door or whatever, there's a space underneath it, a space above it, and a space underneath it. I remember seeing 3 sets of legs, or I knew I would see three sets of legs if I looked. I was too terrified to look. But I remember seeing them. When I woke up, my, at the time, husband said that I was thrashing in my sleep, fighting. He'd never seen me fight like that in my sleep, and he didn't wake me up for some reason. But at that point, I realized that I was no longer off the grid. I developed my mind magic spell, and my mind magic abilities were probably at their peak at that time of my life because I didn't know what else to do. I remember breaking the spell, or breaking their whatever they do to make us not able to react or move. I remember, I guess I was dreaming, but I remember walking down the hallway in my mom's trailer, going towards the room where my other sister and her boyfriend slept, and I was trying to make any amount of noise, any amount of noise, any amount of noise. And I finally made some noise, and then I started banging on the wall. And I've used this technique since then, lots of times, but that was the first time I think I was able to say, "You're not taking us today." And after that, we had a lot more of a grasp on it. And I worked with my understanding of magic and belief systems to structure that sleep spell that wasn't a sleep spell where they could make us sleep. With the rose petals, an iodine packet, and an organza bag. But some other things I can tell you about it. I remember once looking up, and on the side of my body, there was a white, tall white alien. I don't know how else to describe it. And it took this eye out. And I know I remember this. I don't remember the feeling anymore. That's one of the only memories I had of abduction, or like from an experience of that. It's the only thing I remembered visually from encounters with aliens for a long time. I remember bright lights out the window. I remember my sister being so afraid of the windows at night that my dad ended up boarding them up or putting cardboard over them so that she couldn't see out of the windows in our room. Since I've been an adult, I remember dreaming about the hill in the yard we lived in that first house, and I remember seeing like a UFO land and low aliens coming out. I think that the Greys are the like foot troops for the whites, just my opinion. I don't ever remember seeing any humans or people in uniforms, nothing humanoid at all. I've also had a dream experience where, okay, I'm just gonna go through all these. Remember, lots of times I've had this dream where I'm like on a skateboard and I'm going down this specific road out in Oshmo. It's like a sheep farm road. And it goes down and out to like Myers and shit, but I've dreamt a dozen times about being on the skateboard because I mean, you're just like, you're rolling, you're moving, you're not driving, you're not in a car, you're not in anything. But you're moving, not like a walking thing, not like a walking pace, because the world's passing by you at a different speed and, I don't know, I'd say cadence, but I don't know if that's the right term. Anyway, I've since come to conclude that that must have been being moved, like flying. I don't know how else to explain it. I've had a dream where I remember being in school or something and somebody asked me a question and then I leaned against the wall and my body moved incredibly rapidly. I don't know if it was up or backwards, but I know that the feeling it gave me was concurrent to a memory of what I would consider an abduction experience. I remember the most vivid like thing that anyone who's actually experienced will take away from it, I think, is fear. I had a dream, I have to make the dream once that I woke up and I walked to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror in the bathroom and I said it'd be easier if you just go back to sleep. And I remember looking into the hallway or out into the living room from the bathroom. I remember looking down and seeing my cat, and I seen a gray, but it was more blue than gray this time. And I looked at my cat And I remember at that moment I said, not anymore. I'm not going to make this easy on you. I picked up a plastic dresser and I threw it at it. And at that point, I must have woke up, but that's when the dream ended. And I do think I've been taken once or twice since then, or at least interfered with energetically. But that was a big step for me. Other than that house that we had that burned down. So the first day I ever slept there, I had the crazy dream about the legs, and then down the road there, I was there for like 4 years, 3 years. Down the road, I had this dream where I was like, it'll be easier if you just go back to bed. Let's go to sleep. Not okay, not anymore. But the fear, I don't know if it's just a result of seeing something that comes from another solar system, like so foreign to us that it's just terrifying, or if it's part of their control initiative, but there's nothing like it. It's not a fear of your life being lost, it's something worse than that. It's much worse than that. I've been in lots of situations where I could have died. For some reason, they didn't scare me. Now, I have a theory that everyone says these are like cover-up memories for trauma that happen when you're human, like in your normal human life, right? Okay. Why would I cover up a memory that is something that 8 out of the 10 people I know deal with on a daily basis, with something that's completely fucking insane, that will get ridiculed and that is incredibly traumatic comparatively? I'm not saying that something like rape or molestation is pleasant or acceptable or okay in any way, but it is something that, from my experience, has happened to like at least 6 out of 10 people I know, maybe more. An abduction is not something that people would say that happened to them in that, frequency, and in my opinion, it happens to a lot more people than that will ever realize it. This is an opinion, though I don't have stats on that. It doesn't make sense to cover up something traumatic with something more traumatic, or something that's normal in society with something that's completely fucking insane that nobody, there's no, people are like, oh, I wish I was abducted, I want to meet the aliens. No, you don't. And if you think you do, then I pray to the gods you never find out, because it's not going to be something you want to remember. I'm making this video because some people I really respect and appreciate being in my life said to me that the most important thing is for me to believe me. And I don't want to believe me, and I don't. I always thought if I keep researching it, I keep looking into it, that I'll figure something out that will tell me that I was crazy, that I'm wrong. It was just in my imagination. It was something else. It was not this. It was not this. I'm still looking. And if you have some material that I could review that might tell me that it's not abduction by something that came from another, like, universe or world or dimension, I don't give a fuck which one, because they're all the same, I'll look into it. I will take your suggestion to heart, and I will try to figure out if I can be wrong. Part of me somewhere knows I'm not wrong, and that is really disturbing. I'm not an irrational person. I get down with some crazy, fun, weird shit, but I'm not crazy. I'm very much in touch with reality. I'm a stable fucking person, and I've said it before in these videos. I made like 2 or 3. I made a few, but I didn't publish them all. But if you know me, I'm not that guy. I'm not crazy. I don't have delusions of grandeur. I don't think that I was picked to save the world or some shit for this, not from the alien experiences. I'm saving the world because I have to. It has nothing to do with me being picked. It's a choice I made. Anyway, maybe I am crazy. If I'm crazy, then great, because that means I'm wrong, and that means no one else is having this happen to them. It's just something I've created in my head, and I can deal with that. But my sister and I were taken out of our homes by physical entities that didn't come from this solar system. And it is not something that you would make up if it didn't happen. I don't want it to be true, but I think it is. I don't want to believe it, but I know it happened. If any of you have heard of the SSP, the Secret Space Program, I think I might have been in the SSP. There's no part of me that knows it. But I know that this happened, and I really wish it hadn't. All this UFO disclosure that's coming out, like, UFOs, we're not sure they're aliens, but they're UFOs, we're saying that's real. I really thought that if the truth came out, I would feel so much better. And I don't feel better at all. Not at all. Okay, sorry it froze there for a sec. Sean died either 9 or 10 years ago. 2012. It's 21, 9 years ago. She overdosed on heroin. Sean never slept with her light off. Sean had a lot of problems, and I do believe that some of the problems stem from this experience. It's not something you can hide from. And in the last couple of years, since her death, because when she passed away, there's no more reason for me to not talk about it. It was like I wanted to protect her, and so we didn't talk about it. Because talking about it makes it real, and that's not okay. But since she had passed, I started talking about it more, and in the last year and a half or so, I've been less afraid. And a girl at work from Black Rock, Jory, who just told me today she loves me, and I love you, Jory. She's pressing me about a deep, dark secret, my darkest secret, We shared our love of space stuff. And so I told her. She's like, that's it? What? And I think that it was overwhelmingly empowering. I told my 2 best friends online, Kaylee and Nicholas, and they still love me. They're still a part of my life. And I love you guys for that, and for everything else. I told my friend Rich, and all he said was, you can do this, you can get to sleep, you can get through the night. He didn't judge me, he didn't call me crazy. This is not a burden that someone would bear if they didn't have to. This is not a gift. This does not make you special. It's not something that I can imagine anyone walking away from thinking, oh, that was great. I'm so excited that my power, or my illusion of safety was taken away from me as a child, and that I can't protect myself from it. In my opinion, they use vibration to travel through material objects and to control our minds. Anybody who knows a little bit about science knows that, especially from the states of matter or whatever, physical chemistry maybe, I don't know, all matter is vibrating molecules. A gas is loosely vibrating molecules, liquid is a little bit more tight, solids are tighter still. And I guess there's ionized gas or something, I don't know what that is. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about plasma. That's outside of the range of this for me right now. I didn't have that in school. Anyway, I think they vibrate the molecules with some sort of device to allow them to pass through walls, solid objects. I think they use some sort of tone, which is still vibration, to control us physically. So I don't know if they could take somebody with that method that couldn't hear. But I assume that vibration still penetrates the eardrums of people who can't hear. They just don't register it. I don't know how that would work. I have an explanation for the anal probing of men. It's very simple. Motherfucker, my brain is not with it. Fuck. I got my brain in it. Thank God I remember before I had to put in anal orgasm man. Because who knows what the internet would have got me. But the prostate is the quickest way to make a man orgasm and ejaculate. Genetic material. Duh. Something else I'll mention that I think is noteworthy. I had one abductee friend that I met after Sean died online. And I tracked her down over the course of like 3 months because she ditched off the forum as soon as I found her because she said she thought she revealed too much, you know. And when I was a kid, my eyes used to crust closed. I have allergies, you know, never thought about it, but I used to try to pull the stuff off my eyes, and my sister Laura would be like, "You gotta rip your eyelashes out, they're never gonna grow back." The same thing happened to my friend, and I have to feel it might be related. I have another friend who's, I think, probably an abductee. She doesn't have the same types of memories, but she had missing time, and she's definitely weird. And I say weird because I think that it makes you a little weird. Like you don't have the same mechanisms after something like that somebody who didn't would have. Believe that they were abducted, and after talking to them and filling them out, I don't know if they were, more so than not. I've only met like a handful of people who have ever thought they were, so, you know. This is the true account of my life. This is a true account of my experiences. I believe them to be true, whether I want them to or not. And take it for what it is. I can't make you believe me, but I can't make me stop believing. And I don't think we'll ever know the whole truth, but it's nice to know people now in this world who don't automatically say, "That's impossible, Sarah. That's something else, Sarah. You're making that up, Sarah." You know, some of the most important people in my life that I thought, these are my people, didn't believe me. And so all of you who have given me a chance to speak my truth and have, even if you don't believe me, who have not judged me, who have not cut me out of their life, and who have not made me feel stupid, small, or like a liar, you have all my gratitude. Eternally. I guess that's it for now.